Well, Chairman, it's interesting to hear that there still in Paris is this idea of create a perimeter, wait for the tactical units. In the wake of the Columbine attacks here in the U.S., that really began to change. And now I know with the New York police and the Washington police, their belief is you don't have time to wait for tactical units. These are people who are not going to be taking hostages. You have to go in and you have to kill or neutralize the gunmen immediately.
Yeah, and you have to remember, and their tactics are designed this way, you create chaos even around a few square blocks. That also causes a little bit of confusion even with the law enforcement. They have limited resources. They have to respond. Yes, they have a tactical unit, a counterterrorism tactical unit. And if I saw some footage earlier from your CNN crew or your affiliate there, you could see the guys getting out of civilian cars, meaning they had called their tactical unit in. They probably drove directly to the site. So that would count for some time. And then you don't want to send them in exactly not knowing what's going on. That's going to take a little time. Those are the two time factors you really can't do much about. It did seem like it took them too long to actually make the decision to go in the door. It looked like they had assembled. They're going to Monday morning quarterback that to death, I can imagine, trying to figure out if their response time was exactly right. It sounds like, though, when they breached the building, they did it correctly. It sounds like they were able to kill all 4 attackers with no police killed. And they couldn't detonate their belts, which tells me that they were as probably good as they could be once they entered the building.
Yeah, I mean, it's remarkable that the belts were not detonated inside that theater by any of the 3 terrorists who apparently, according to law enforcement there, had them on. What do you make of the fact that according to Jean-Charles, one of the terrorists was speaking out loud or yelling about Syria?
Well, I mean, clearly this has terrorist underpinnings. And so if that's true, and then if you track some of the social media coming out where ISIS is saying they're taking credit for it, there'll be more of this, that in and of itself, by itself, isn't as credible as putting all the pieces together. It's probably too early to tell, but I would argue the factors that you see lining up and the tactics that we saw on all 6 sites would lead me to believe it's an ISIS attack versus an Al-Qaeda attack. And clearly, they're using this Syria portion of it. And, Anderson, that we know that Baghdadi has been calling for these smaller, aggressive attacks, stay home, do it in your hometowns. We've seen that mantra for months leading into this. And, again, this is what happens when you just let it boil over and decide that it'll burn itself out. Well, it's not. In Lebanon, here, you're seeing it, you saw it in Egypt. We've seen them have activities in Afghanistan. This is really concerning. It is not contained, as the president said today. I think it's getting worse, and we're going to have to do something about it, and it sounds like the French are eager to do that.